Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the January 21st, 2020 meeting of the Orange Town Plan and Zoning Commission. I'm Commissioner Ozzie Parenti. Let's begin by having those seated at the table introduce themselves.
Tammy Trantalis, Administrative Assistant.
Oh, Paul Kaplan.
Kevin Cornell.
Judy Smith.
Paul Denise, Zoning Administrator and Enforcement Officer.
Okay, thank you. Before we get to our agenda this evening, I thought we'd just take a minute to reflect on the passing of the Fire Marshal Tim Smith. Very sad. As I'm sure you all know, he passed away on this past Sunday. Really nice guy. Unfortunately for me, I didn't know him really well. You know, I didn't grow up in Orange with him. I understand he's a real Orange boy. But he was always very nice, a real gentleman. And I know that whenever we called on him to help us out on an application, on some zoning matter, he was always very diligent about his response, very helpful, very knowledgeable. So just horribly sad, horribly sad. Big loss for the town.
There'll be a lot on Jamie's shoulders.
Yeah, so I just feel very badly about that. I know you all feel the same way. I thought maybe we would just take a moment and have a moment of silence in his memory. Okay, thank you. Anything else on that, or? All right. Second item, before we get to the agenda, you know, we have a vacancy with Ralph Fascantino, having left town, left the commission. Left town and accordingly left the commission. But good news is we have a replacement. His name is Tom Tarenti. I don't know if you know him. He's a structural engineer. I've known Tom since we were in high school together. He's a great guy and very smart, and I think he's going to be a really good. We couldn't stand to have another lawyer, so we.
So we got an engineer.
We got another engineer.
Much better.
And I think that was really.
Oh, what's up?
I think Ralph's background was structural engineering, right? So I mean, Tom's a good fit. I
So
think he's going to
why
help
isn't he
us
here
out.
and let's go get him?
Well, he just was appointed, approved, sworn in, and didn't quite make tonight's meeting, but he'll be here for the next meeting
Okay.
on February 2nd. So he's going to be a good addition, I'm sure, a very good addition to our already good commission, and look forward to having him participate in the future. All right. First item on our agenda then is a review of the minutes from the January 7, 2020 meeting.
We have enough people to do this.
Well, let's see. Yeah, I mean, everybody's here, yeah, I mean, everybody was here on January 7th. No?
These three.
Ralph already left town. Kevin was out of town.
So, Kevin was not here, all right, so you, Judy, Paul, Judy, and I, okay, fine. All right. Everybody have a chance to look these over? I have a few comments to make. I'll start. If anybody wants to jump in, please do so. But on the first page, a little more than halfway down the page, under report of the zoning enforcement officer, there's reference to pending site plan application, which was non-compliant with what was needed to have been accepted by the commission. I just think we should identify the applicant there, which was we were talking about 131 Boston Post Road LLC, right? Okay. And then, in that same paragraph, there's a typo, second to last line, the word property. You need a Y at the end of that. See that, Tammy? Built on the property,
Oh, okay.
all right? The second to last full paragraph, we were talking about Airbnb. And it says, the commission said they might want to investigate changing the regulations about Airbnbs to plan for the future. I didn't think it was might, I thought it was, we wanted to. Specifically to, and you might add specifically to prohibit, that use. So amend the regulations to specifically prohibit Airbnbs.
Try to have something for you next meeting on that.
Yeah, all right.
Have you gotten a lot of questions about that, Paul?
I'm gonna say there's 5 instances in town that we've learned about. Part of the problem is that when these things are advertised, the address isn't given up online. The address is not given up online. But we've learned about 5 of them. Usually from a neighbor who's concerned because there are new people constantly coming in and out of the house.
All right. On page 2, 2/3, 3/4 of the way down, paragraph begins, he said that Target is implementing a drive-up program to turn existing parking into stalls for the pickup and drop-off of merchandise. Did it include the drop-off of, I don't know, it's not a big deal, but
Not drop off.
not drop-off,
It-
right?
it did not
I guess you
include
could
drop-off.
return something, probably.
Yeah, I don't think
eventually.
that's the purpose though.
Pickup service.
Yeah. But I think we ought to get rid of drop-off. And the last sentence on the page, the average number of drive-ups per day here is 24 as of right now. I think what he said was at other stores where they've tried this out, that's the average, right?
Yes.
So it's not here.
Take a word.
Yeah, I think that works. Under public hearings, first paragraph, 4 lines down. We were talking about a proposed addition. This was the in-law apartment, saying it will come out of the left side of the house, out of the garage. I thought he said over that was to be built over the garage.
It
right?
was over.
And then in the next paragraph, Commissioner Smith confirmed all the necessary sign-offs on the application. And the commission explained to the applicant that they cannot rent out this property after its current use unless the owner of the property is 55 or older.
Actually, it should read owner or renter.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that was quite, my understanding is one of the units must always be occupied by a relative who's 55. Is it a relative?
No, it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be a relative,
No, it does
but it
not.
has to be somebody who's 55 or older.
Either the owner or the renter has to be 55
Right.
or older. And the owner has to be living on the property.
The owner has to be, that's right, okay. So that was a little unclear, I think we need to
Okay.
clean that up. I think that's all I had. Anybody with anything else on the minutes?
Move that we accept the minutes of the January 7th, 2020 meeting as amended.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion to approve the minutes. It's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay. Next item on our agenda is old business. Does anybody have anything they wish to bring up under that topic? No? Okay. Then, item 3, new business. How about anything to consider under new business? guess not, okay. Nothing, nothing, Paul, you're all set, all right. All right, item number 4 is a report of the zoning enforcement officer. What do you have, Paul?
Well, the project 197 Indian River Road is began construction, posted all their bonds.
That's the continuing care community?
Yes, it's, yes. You know, it's part independent living, part assisted living, part memory care. Jack's handling all the inspections there, to see the project through. Again, I'm leaving in early April, so I think it's a good opportunity for him to start that project and carry it on. You know, it's a mammoth project, and although it's kind of a balanced site, there's a large quantity of earth materials. They've been very cooperative in terms of giving us the reports, engineering reports, maintaining their sedimentation and erosion controls, and I know Jack's been out there quite frequently on that. You know, we finished up on the High Tech Ink Company, and I just gave them a bond release request form, so that'll be coming in shortly, and everybody's already signed off on that project.
And the bedding,
Update on the bedding barn or whatever that is over there?
Yeah,
130.
I knew you
There-
were gonna, that was
Yes.
gonna come up in the discussion tonight, and so, sorry to interrupt, but, I just wanna say I have a conflict on that matter. So, I don't wanna take part in any discussion regarding, I personally don't wanna take part in any discussion regarding the, status of that, approval, the cease and desist order. Nor should I participate in the application for site plan approval, which will be on our agenda for our next meeting. So
we should have enough people by now.
with that in mind, I'll step away from the table and you can discuss.
It's public record. I mean, you don't have to do anything, but do you think you have to step away?
Well, I'll step away. I think
Okay.
I could just be silent, but who knows? I might say something.
Okay.
So you,
It's good,
Wake me
if
up
you,
when
if you recuse yourself, you should leave the table.
Table, okay.
It's not required, but there have been some court cases where people felt intimidated that a member
Oh,
stayed
interesting.
at the
Okay.
table and stayed on the board,
Got it.
so.
Actually, I just saw that in, oh, I know, Succession.
So Paul, I just had a couple questions on 131.
Mhm.
With regard to the cease and desist, and I believe the occupant was, or the applicant was notified on October 29th and had 30 days. There you go. And they had 30 days, which would be November 29th, to comply. So I just want to go through the list. You had 7 items that needed to be addressed. Number 1 was engineered sealed plans for the retaining wall must be submitted to the Orange building official. Has that been done?
There has been information that has gone to the building official, and he has not been satisfied. I know that the developer owner did submit a revised copy of plans either to him on Friday, but the building inspector was not in today. And I was not in Friday, so I don't know. I don't think he's signed off on it yet.
Okay. The remediation and stabilization plan for the rear wall must be submitted. And it was needed to be signed and sealed by a Connecticut licensed engineer. Do you know if that rear wall,
The rear of the property was redesigned recently.
redesigned?
And a plan, yes.
Okay,
I think my discussions with the applicant was to either provide a retaining wall or bring it to a 2-to-1 slope.
do you know what the slope is currently?
Currently,
Yeah,
it's mostly a sheer cliff.
okay. Install and maintain S&E control devices at the property. Do they have sedimentation erosion control?
There needs to be some more.
Okay. Remove drain pipe discharging at the rear of the property. The pipe discharges onto adjacent property and wetlands.
You know, the plan shows it being removed and remediated, but it's still there,
Today,
yeah.
okay. The manifest for all earth materials deposited on the property must be submitted to the zoning department.
That was done.
Have there been any new materials deposited
I
there?
think that there were a few new materials that were deposited within the last few days.
And do you have a manifest for those?
No.
What is the date of the notice, Judy?
October 29, 2019, with the 30 days.
Yep.
which would bring it to the end of November. Weekly engineering reports must be submitted for all future approved work.
I'm gonna say we have received engineering reports with regard to the work that was completed.
Okay.
There hasn't, other than the deposit of some new material, there hasn't been an awful lot of new activity.
Okay, and finally, a bond must be posted for all work in conjunction with remediation and future site work.
A cash bond for $5,000 was posted.
And do you
The
feel,
remainder has not yet been addressed, but,
What the remainder of,
well, the $5,000 only, I'm sure there's more work left on site than that. But what we usually do is get 5,000 in cash and then the balance in the form of a letter of credit, a performance bond, or,
but that hasn't,
That hasn't been given either.
not yet, no. Cash bond, was posted
but that probably wouldn't suffice to,
to cover the cost of the entire, site work remaining, no.
you know, we have done site visits before if we've had a compliance issue.
right,
So I think it might be an opportunity for us to do that.
we have to,
Go as a board, or can we go individually?
It's
It's
easier
best.
if you go individually,
Mhm.
because then we don't have to post
A
an
meeting.
agenda. And it's recommended that you don't even go with two members that aren't a quorum.
Right.
So I would make your trips there individually. And,
How much latitude have we given applicants like this when we have a cease and desist with a 30-day time period, and then they don't comply with, materially with
well,
half?
some stuff did come in, it was piecemeal.
Right,
So it came in over the duration of time. So
but there's still stuff outstanding.
there's a few things outstanding.
You think that they materially complied or are in the process of complying?
I would say that would be true.
Paul, I remember when we looked at this originally, we were very concerned that there was a lot of work happening right on property boundaries, and that out of the rear of the property towards the wetlands, the past activity of the site had been discharging storm drainage back there, the bank
They
was relatively
have a right to,
overgrown.
they have a right to drain back there. But the installation of the pipe, was never approved, and it directly flowed into wetlands. They have appeared before the Wetlands Commission and to get approval in, last Tuesday.
Right, so I'm looking at the original application drawings that I
There
remember.
was no drainage that was shown at that point.
Right, and now I'm looking at a planting plan dated December 4th, 19, and then January 21st, that is completely different with respect to the grading and extent of, I guess this is the retaining wall, is relatively similar.
Yes, the rear portion of the property, that was done, upon my recommendation.
Okay,
To
so it
bring it
went
back to
from
a
the
2-to-1.
riprap 1-1 to a 2-on-1
That's
planting
correct.
slope that can be maintained.
That's correct.
and what is it today?
It's probably a sheer cliff.
All right.
And is the rear of the cliff on their property?
I know this is spillage onto the adjacent property.
So if more than one commission member wanted to go at the same time because,
It
for
can be done,
example,
it can be done. But as soon as we start getting more members together to go there, then we come closer to filing an agenda for a
Okay.
meeting, which makes it much more complicated.
all right, no, it's just that, I have that
It would be
background.
nice, yes.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we have done it before where we file an agenda and we go as a group.
And we need to get the property owner's permission if you're gonna step on the property.
okay. Can you, all right, so can you.
Get that permission so we can go on?
I know he's here tonight.
Okay. Can you get to the, can you get to the podium?
How you doing? I'm Kenneth. How you doing? I'm Kenneth Thomas. I represent 131 Boston Post Road, LLC.
Okay, so there's been a lot of question about the compliance and how much compliance there was to the October letter, and we wanted to see it for ourselves. Do you have any objection if we go onto the property to take a
No.
look at it?
Are you gonna come as a group, or how are we gonna do
I
that?
doubt it, but there may be two of us together, I guess.
I mean, I'm happy to go alone. I don't have a
Okay.
thing.
I'm gonna go alone as well, yeah.
All right, but I'm happy to go with you if you want,
Yep.
or with,
Yeah.
you know, however you guys want to do it. But should we get like a phone number so we could call you and
Yeah,
tell
I'd
you
like
where we're gonna be there?
Paul has
I have the
contact
number, and
information, just set it
I'll
up
email
whenever
it,
we wanna
I'll
meet
email
there.
it.
Question, sir,
Yes.
do you happen to have the property boundaries staked in any manner that somebody
There should be
could see
pins on
like
the
a flag?
corners. There should be pins.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll tell you before we show up. Paul.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yep,
Okay, so hopefully we'll have an opportunity within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'd hope to be maybe next week.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and, a lot of the issues that still remain outstanding are all noted in the proposed site plan. To, the remedies to how we're gonna modify the original special permit plan to the final site plan.
Okay. Yeah, because we haven't looked at the site plan because we were worried about, you know,
The
the
issues.
remediation
So I'd like
from,
you to look at the site plan just so we could
absolutely.
get to a final solution on what's gonna happen there.
Yep.
good. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep,
So, yeah, I would encourage us to try to get there within a week,
Absolutely.
okay.
so we can move on with it. All right, thanks, Paul.
That's all I have.
That's it? All right. Thank you for taking care of that. Paul, anything else on your report?
No, that's all I have.
All right. Any other questions for Paul?
No.
All right. All right, then the last item on our agenda is the site plan application. This is for property known as 653 to 663 Orange Center Road, submitted by SD Woodruff and Sons LLC. The proposal is to locate a smoothie drink bar in space that was previously retail, 740 square feet. There are no proposed site changes. Is the applicant here? Would you come to the podium, please? If you could just give us your name and,
Hello, my name is Brian Dodona. I represent SD Woodruff and Sons LLC.
okay. Do you want to take us through your application, what you intend to do?
Sure,
I have some, we have some questions, we'll have some questions for you, but if you could just give us a general
sure, I'll give
idea of
you a
what you
general
intend.
overview of what our intent is.
Yeah,
Um,
you represent the landlord, the owner
I'm
of the property.
co-owner of the property. yes.
Okay. All right, so you are sufficiently familiar with, I assume it's your tenant's intended use?
Yes.
Okay,
So the intended use would be for as stated, a smoothie juice type of retail location. Currently, or previously, it was a dentist office. So the change in zoning is the reason why we've submitted our application to change. Interior modifications were minimal, just minimal rehab, which we have current building permits for that we're working on. And we would, I just want to say that there's 2 additional locations that this company has in Milford that are very successful. And I was proud that they would consider our location. And given the vacant space and the time vacant, I'm very looking forward to having a nice functioning business in that unit, so.
now, this space faces Orange Center Road.
It does, it faces the road frontage and it's the far left,
So we're
I'm sorry,
there-
the far right-hand side
Right.
of the building if you're staring at it from Orange Center Road.
You're looking at it from Orange Center Road, the convenience store is to the left,
Correct,
this is to the right.
yes.
Okay. Now, tell me about the use. Because I looked at your floor plan, the floor plans.
Yes.
And it doesn't lay out the location of tables or counters or any of the, interior.
Right.
What's,
And being myself a novice at this, which I would also like to thank Paul for all of his help and guidance through this process. He's been a really big help to me, number one. Number two, to get the ball rolling, I was under the impression that we would need to change the zoning of the unit prior to being able to get in with the health department, find out exactly where they want things located and what certain uses would be for that way. So the intent of this application is to change the zoning so that we can then make some
change the
determination.
use?
Change the use of the,
Right.
of
I
the
mean, you're not
unit as it
changing-
was previously.
Not changing the building in any way, so
Correct.
we're not talking about setback requirements or
Because
lot density or
Just the
anything.
interior use of that in particular unit.
an indoor restaurant is a permitted use in the local shopping center district. So you're not gonna change
The zoning
the
regulations.
zoning regs.
That, I mean, that's,
That's your point.
well,
Great, and so, to that end, does require that customers are served when seated at tables or counters.
No, this is more of a walk-up, like, they don't serve food.
Right.
They only serve their particular drinks. You know, I don't own the business or operate the business. I've only visited their other locations in Milford and I see.
Where in Milford, Brian?
One of them is the Dollar General Plaza on Melba Street.
Mhm.
The other is Beachside Nutrition, which is on Broadway.
I'm not
I
familiar
don't
with either
know
of those.
exactly, but it's that little neighborhood, as you go south of Milford Hospital. towards
Yeah,
the
just,
beach
I'm
there.
not down there a lot. Did you, and you visited one of these?
I visited both, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
do they,
Basically over-the-counter capped drinks, like what Dunkin' Donuts would serve sans
but-
the food.
right, but do they, is the food served with the intention that the purchaser,
in the restaurant.
well.
Yes, their other locations have not tables and chairs, they have like more of like an easy chair and a coffee table.
But it's not intended to, it's not takeout.
Correct.
You don't go up to a counter, buy it and leave. You buy it and you.
Well, that's how
consume it on
most
premise.
people visit the store, though the opportunity to sit down and enjoy your drink also is
I think it's-
available.
It sounds like the.
in their other stores.
Mr., what's that called? Smoothie Place. Is that what it's called? Smoothie King on 350 Boston Post Road. It's got a place to sit, but it's not, most people take it out.
Well, let me get right to the
Yeah.
point.
They don't serve drinks in what I would call like dishware that you would then return to the counter. They give you to-go cups, and if you choose to sit inside to do it,
See, the regulations, this is in the local shopping center district. 383-33D identifies as a permitted use. Indoor restaurants and other food and beverage service establishments where customers are served only when seated at tables or counters, and all of the seats are located within an enclosed building unless approved under 383-34B. So the idea is, that to me is describing a restaurant where you walk in, you take a seat at a table, and a waiter or a waitress comes to your table, takes an order, serves you your food or beverage at the table. That's what, if you were doing that, it would be permitted as of right, okay?
okay.
Then it references, though, 383-34B, which is a permitted use, but permitted by special exceptions, a special use permit. Subsection B says, under special uses, indoor restaurants and other food and beverage service establishments where customers order and receive their order at a service counter, and where the food and/or beverage is intended to be consumed primarily while seated at tables or counters within the establishment.
C1 is.
Huh?
I think C1 is more fit.
But they're both special uses, so
Yeah,
they have the
yeah.
same criteria.
And yes, C,
Sorry.
yeah, food takeout is allowed.
Yeah.
Okay, but under a special use
Yeah.
permit.
Same.
Right, okay, thank you. Yes, so C1 is potentially applicable. But this is not this application is not a special use application.
I think it should be. You disagree?
Because it doesn't sound like we have it as,
That's,
huh?
I understand where you're coming from.
I mean, it doesn't sound like this is a permitted as of right use. the way it's
That's
been
why we
described.
wanted to understand the operation
Mhm.
relative to the regulation.
Sure. But it also doesn't sound like a heavy lift as a special use permit.
No.
You know, the parking criteria, the existing parking counts over 90 spaces, and if Mr. Obi Machow's chart's right, you only need, I think they need 60 spaces, but he wrote
Yeah,
50.
I calculated like 54 or something like
Okay,
that,
but regardless,
parking.
you're well covered
yeah.
in terms of parking. So, it would just be a different process a little bit.
One of the other concerns we would, I think, consider, you know, on a special use application would be traffic. I don't know, huh?
Yeah, but in its 740
Yeah.
square feet, you know, what sort of, how much can they, I mean, they'll generate certainly more than a dentist office,
Right.
but,
Not much more.
You know, I missed C1, I didn't see that. I thought we were either D under permitted or B under special uses.
But either way, I don't think we're in as of right, is what it comes down to.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know Paulie would always, was there one that we missed or something?
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
saying that.
okay. Okay.
So the only thing about special use is it's advertised as such. There's a public hearing associated with it.
We can redo that.
I mean, I think Kevin's right. I don't think it is a heavy lift. It's probably doable, but I wonder, I don't see how we could really avoid doing it the right way. Procedurally, right?
It's not, the only one partially applicable under 38333 is D, as you said, and it's not D.
Is that your understanding? That it's not really it's not,
I think
it's more a
if we
takeout place
showed
than
you
a
the
restaurant
regs, you'd
place.
understand what we're talking about.
Yes.
I mean, it's not a
So-
situation where you come in, sit down at a table, and you wait for the waitress or the waiter to come to your table.
Correct.
For the most,
No, waitress or waiter, right?
No.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the permitted type of restaurant that's allowed? Your type is allowed, but it's allowed through a different procedure.
your microphone.
Okay, forgot what I said. So my point is the permitted use is a restaurant with sit-down service and waitresses.
Right.
Yours is not that. Your use is allowed, but it's a different process, and that's
Okay.
the special use permit. So I think that's sort of what we're leaning, because, you know, to do it the right way is you come back with a special use permit.
Paul,
'Cause that's
okay.
it.
See me tomorrow. We'll take
yeah,
care of
Does
it.
that
Paul,
mean-
what's the quickest we could get them on an agenda? What's the
2 weeks?
notice requirement?
Today's probably the second meeting in February.
Okay. Can you hold on?
I'll have to, won't I?
Yes, kind of like,
So,
yeah.
yes, I will.
Yeah, kind of.
But while we have you, do you know the hours of operation? Possible,
Potentially 8 AM to 8 PM.
okay.
I would say no later than 8 PM, and I would say 8 AM, maybe a little early, but I know that they have a breakfast clientele that comes for their drinks in the morning at the
Yeah.
other location, so I would assume so.
Kevin, on the parking, what section did you look at? Was it 383, 174?
They're way over in the market.
Just in front of signs.
Not even close?
It's not even remote.
I thought it was for the restaurant use.
So,
It's-
I was looking
10
at
per
383,
1,000 square feet.
172.
Was that?
383, 172, and the restaurant is section 9. Restaurants are food or beverage service established in 16 spaces per 1,000 square feet.
Well, one of us doesn't have the new regs in.
No, these are the new regs. It's only 10.
It's only 10?
Yeah.
Mine says 10 spaces per 1,000 square
Okay.
feet of gross floor area.
I was led astray.
Yes.
Yeah, those are the old
That'll happen.
regulations. Those are-
And the shopping center and retail stores up to and including 10,000 square feet of gross leasable area, 4.5 spaces per 1,000 square feet. So
There's no
by my
issue.
calculations, we need about 50 spaces.
Right.
And there's 90. There are 90?
Right.
Well, are there 90 in
Total,
around
including
that
the
building,
bank.
or 90
It's on the property.
On the
on the
property,
property?
right.
No matter how far away it is from
No
the
matter how far away, it's on the property.
Yep.
Well, then, okay. I mean, I think I counted them up the spaces just around that portion of the building, basically, and I still had,
Plenty more.
yeah, I still had more than 50. So I don't think parking's an issue.
Right.
And there
I
are
don't
no
think-
other zoning issues.
All right, Paulie, for a special permit, does he have to, there's any more cash layout for these guys, or no?
I'll have to take a look at
Okay.
the fee
All right.
schedule.
Do we have the ability to waive the fee?
Do we have the ability to waive the fee?
Because he's already paid one fee for
Um,
one application.
I would imagine so.
If
You
I
can
recall.
displace it, use that fee for the, because it's really only one application that's
Right.
required.
Yeah, we've done that before.
All right.
All right, thank you
I
again.
think that's
Thank
the
you.
better way to handle it.
Yeah.
We'll try to get that on the
Yeah,
agenda.
see me tomorrow, Brian.
Sure, Bill, thanks.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Brian.
Thank you. All right. That concludes our agenda. Is somebody prepared to make a motion to?
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a
Second.
Second. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.